So, the other day I was sitting in a stall in the men's room at the Taco Bell, suffering from the obvious repercussions of eating at Taco Bell. And I realized that the stall was out of toilet paper. In a panic, noticing that someone was using the stall next to me, I broke the cardinal rule of men's room silence and begged my neighbor for a handful of toilet tissue. They didn't say a word, but a hand reached under the stall door with a wad of toilet paper. It was a very small, kind of dainty hand with no visible hair on it. I retrieved the toilet paper from their hand and said, "Thank you." From the other side of the stall, an unmistakably female voice said, "You're welcome." Friends, do you want to know what ran through my mind at that precise moment? Thank God the other stall had some fucking toilet paper. Remember, when you're shitting bricks, we're all equal. Here's your damn rant show, folks. Greetings, I am E. Adam Thomas, and this is That Damn Rant Show. Tonight we're looking at one of the most idiotic topics I've ever had to deal with on the show. And that is the issue of which bathroom a transgendered person should be allowed to use. Now I could get all soapboxy and start a diatribe on my views of LGBTQ rights and how they've been squashed by a bunch of stuck-up, paranoid, self-righteous fuckhead douche canoes that on the Republican side, but that type of argument is really more peripheral to what's really going on here. It's not just about rights, and I get that. The biggest argument being touted against allowing people to use the restroom of choice based on their own gender identity is that it might make women and children vulnerable to sexual predators. Now, honestly, as a father, I can completely understand how some people would be concerned with the idea of a man coming into the woman's restroom to use the facilities while their wife or children are present. But there's a few things you need to think about before you react to that. First of all, although it's certainly not a foregone conclusion, there are very few transgendered males who identify as females that are attracted to females. Sure, I'm sure there are some, but you're also sharing your bathroom with lesbians. They're biologically female, and they are attracted to females. But they can come and go as they please, and the likelihood of either a lesbian or a transgendered person committing an act of sexual violence is so infinitesimal, you'd stand a better chance of winning $6 billion in the Powerball while being struck by lightning during coitus with Morgan Fairchild in the cargo bay of a space shuttle that is still in active service. There are none, by the way. As for the men's room, I would suspect the transgenders would be more nervous about using that room themselves. And to be honest, I believe that's predominantly where a lot of this stems from, is men. Red-blooded, beer-drinking, vagina-loving, truck-driving, hair-thinning, Trump-voting for, and asshole-jock men. They're a bunch of fuckheads. Trust me, I am one. I've been around those of my kind a lot. And I can tell you, if you're a male who identifies as female, the last place you probably want to be is in the men's restroom. Men will fuck your shit up just for liking Star Trek or knowing calculus. Hell, Broncos fans will completely wipe the planet's ass with your face just for saying John Elway was a less than exquisitely proficient quarterback. Men are fucking pricks. Now, for those of you indoctrinated since childhood by the zealous dogma of your parents, I feel it necessary to drop a tidbit of actual knowledge on you. Now, I realize that your clergy, or whatever you go to, probably have told you that actual knowledge will send you to hell to have your entrails devoured by a wolf-like demon beast while humming some incomprehensible Tolkien-inspired Led Zeppelin deep cuts. But bear with me on this. It's important, okay? Are we ready? Being gay Transgender, bisexual, or queer does not make you some kind of pervert. We are all just human beings looking for a connection with someone we can relate to, whether we prefer someone of the opposite sex or not, or whether we would prefer to be someone of the opposite sex or not. We're all just trying to get through life, spending about 90% of our lives just trying to pay bills and avoid eating stuff that'll make us shit our pants like a flaming fecal volcano so that we don't have to burn or bum toilet paper from the person in the next stall. I know a lot of folks are going to sit there and tell you being gay is wrong. Being bi is wrong. Being anything but straight, boring, and Christian is wrong. Well, let's just take a look at some of those fine, upstanding Christians and conservatives here. Josh Duggar, member of the Duggar family from the TV show 19 Kids and Counting, conservative Christian, former executive director of FRC Action, a lobbying PAC affiliated and sponsored by the Family Research Council, and a member of Ashley Madison, and he's molested 5 underage girls. Not gay, not transgender, not queer. Okay, how about this? Former Speaker of the House, Dennis Hastert, a Christian Republican who has not only molested multiple teenage boys when he was a teacher, but then tried to pay them off with hush money. And by the way, this shit-sucking fuckstick only got 15 months in prison. Don't forget that this is the same self-righteous asshole who was calling President Clinton a pervert and a degenerate during the Monica Lewinsky scandal. And hey, assface, at least she was legal. Let's not forget Jared Fogle, the subway dude who pled guilty to possession of child pornography and paying minors for sexual favors. What do these 3 guys have in common? That's right, sports fans. Until all of their various antics became public, they were all just average, normal, straight guys. Not queer, not trans. For all we know, they were just normal dudes. And they all used the men's room. Possibly next to your son. So seriously, folks, what is the big answer? The big answer is that people need to just stop and think for a moment. The fact of the matter is that transgendered males who identify as females are just as vulnerable as you ladies in the bathroom, especially if they're being forced to use the men's room. All they want to do is take a dump in peace, hopefully in a stall that actually has some fucking toilet paper. They don't want you or your damn kids. They just want to survive the horrifying chalupa nightmare they just ingested. These are not the so-called pervs you're looking for, folks. Most of the most dangerous rapists and child molest predators are dangerous because they don't cross-dress or use the opposite restroom. They're dangerous because to look at them, about 99% of them look like everybody else. Why do you think it's so hard to catch them? I mean, anyhow, I really have to wrap this up before my volcano nachos decide to turn my underoos into fucking Pompeii. If anything I have said today has offended you or upset you in some way, good. If you agree with everything I said, awesome. Either way, let me know by commenting on this video, looking up That Damn Ranch Show on Facebook, emailing me at boratom@gmail.com, finding me on Twitter, whatever. Until next time, remember, if you're spending all your time in the restroom worried about what somebody else is packing in their panties, maybe you're the degenerate. Good night. Angry Men Reviews. Many fucks said, no fucks given.